New York City. Fans were stunned by an unusual scene around Barclays Center, Brooklyn. Not because of the spectacular stage setup or the long lines that have become standard in Jungkook's solo tour, but because of one very striking thing: extremely tightened security. Even before the concert began, a tense aura radiated from every corner of the venue. What exactly happened that night? And why did Jungkook's concert feel so different this time? Since midday, the atmosphere around the venue was unlike usual. 3-layered metal barricades were set up far from the main entrance, forcing fans to queue farther away from the usual checkpoint. Unmarked black SUVs were seen moving back and forth with tightly guarded convoys. Some even stopped directly at the backstage logistics area. On the roof, several armed personnel were spotted monitoring the area using high-tech surveillance equipment. Unlabeled drones hovered silently above the crowd. One fan present that night said, "I've attended 5 BTS concerts and 2 solo tours of other members, but I've never seen security like this. It felt like attending a state-level event." What made the management take such extreme measures? An internal source from one of the event vendors stated that the concert that night was categorized as a Priority Zone 1 by the security team, a term rarely used even for international artists. Speculation spread rapidly. Was there a real threat against Jungkook? Or was this a diversion strategy for something bigger? Hours before the performance began, rumors spread within the fan community that an account on the dark web had uploaded location coordinates and mentioned the name JK in its post. The post was quickly deleted, but it was enough to spark fear. Not long after, the soundcheck session was suddenly canceled. Jungkook, who usually greets VIP fans personally, didn't show up at all. Backstage activity went silent. No posts from staff. No rehearsal leaks. Everything was silent, suspicious, and strange. During the concert, many odd things happened. Usually, Jungkook is known for his warmth, often stepping down into the audience area, greeting fans, even hugging some of them. But that night, he never once approached the stage barrier. Access to the front stage area was guarded by 4 security personnel at all times. Even when performing emotional songs like My You, where he typically shows deep personal expression, he appeared physically restrained. His body movements were limited, his gaze more often directed at backstage crew than at the audience. When the concert reached its climax with the song 7, fan cheers were interrupted by a clicking sound from staff communication headsets. Jungkook abruptly changed his choreography, moving away from a position that had been marked on the stage floor. This fueled suspicions that he had received direct instructions from the security team during the performance. Someone from the front row recorded a video in which Jungkook's hand appeared to give a subtle signal toward the stage wing, which was then responded to by a red indicator light flashing briefly, enough to suggest a silent order had been received. What's more concerning was when the concert ended. No encore, no lengthy farewell, no standing ovation, which he would usually respond to with playful or sweet gestures. Jungkook left the stage with just a quick wave and immediately disappeared backstage along with 8 personal bodyguards. Fans stared at the empty stage for a few minutes, confused, hoping it was part of an artistic drama. But the lights never came back on. Within 24 hours of the concert, social media was flooded with theories and worries. ARMY, the name for BTS fans, shared clips from CCTV footage around the venue, showing suspicious movements of 2 individuals pursued by staff, but never caught on camera again. There were also unverified reports that one of the drones that night was not part of the official concert crew. HYB and Bigot Music have yet to release any official statement regarding the incident or the heightened security. Jungkook himself didn't upload a single post, no thank you note, no Instagram story, not even a fan repost, which he usually does after a concert. This silence only strengthened the assumption that something serious was indeed happening. Some speculations pointed to the possibility of a personal threat directed at Jungkook following his rising global fame, especially after his solo debut broke Billboard records and gained exposure on major world stages like Global Citizen and the Asian Grammys. However, there are also more cynical views that all of this is a form of total control by the agency aiming to reshape Jungkook's image into something more exclusive and out of reach from the general public. That direct fan interactions are intentionally being reduced to create an untouchable aura similar to Japanese idols of the Showa era. One K-pop industry analyst noted that this move may be strategic, but it could backfire if fans begin to feel separated from the artists they love. One thing is certain: Jungkook's concert in NYC was no ordinary concert. The atmosphere, which is usually full of warmth and interaction, suddenly turned into a mystery that left more questions than answers. Was there truly a threat? Or was this part of a new branding strategy? Or, even more frightening, has the artist himself lost control over the direction of his own performance? Undeniably, this concert sets a new precedent in the history of solo K-pop tours. Fans are now rewatching recordings of previous concerts, looking for clues whether similar incidents had occurred but went unnoticed. Every gesture, every piece of stage movement is now being reinterpreted. Many have referred to the NYC concert as the beginning of a total protection era for Jungkook, an era in which the artist's voice, expression, and even physical presence are managed by an invisible security system. Are we witnessing a new form of protection for a global icon, or a new form of restriction that alienates the artist from their fans? That night in NYC didn't offer answers. Only silence, theories, and a giant question mark. But one thing is clear: that concert changed how the public sees Jungkook, no longer just a K-pop star, but a global figure now operating under a shadow of extreme protection. And the world is watching, with eyes wide open, waiting for the next piece of truth to unfold. But after all the commotion, the oddities, and the conspiracy theories circulating, let's pause for a moment and ask, did all of this really happen? Or are we being swept away by a whirlwind of sensational narratives shaped by viral posts, social media flashes, and logic driven by sheer emotion? Most of the information in this article was sourced from various digital platforms: short videos from TikTok, long viral tweets, anonymous Reddit comments, and speculative analyses from fan-run YouTube channels. These sources are certainly engaging, even compelling. But how accurate are they really, do you, as the reader, truly believe that Jungkook's concert in New York City was surrounded by multi-layered security systems like in a spy movie? Are you convinced that drones, unmarked vehicles, and hidden evacuation protocols are standard features of a pop concert? Or could this be nothing more than a dramatic scenario we want to believe? Because real life often feels too plain. Let's look at the simple facts. There's no official statement from HYB or Bigot regarding the security incident that night, and no coverage from mainstream media, which usually moves quickly to report on sensitive issues like threats to global public figures, and concrete and verified visual documentation of the alleged security breach. Everything that went viral were short clips, easily taken out of context. So the question is, why are we so quick to believe? Is it because Jungkook's big name makes every little thing surrounding him feel like part of a grand plot? Or is it because we live in an era where virality is more convincing than verification? This is a call for reflection. We, as fans, as information consumers, have a responsibility to ask more questions before believing something just because it feels interesting. Are we consuming information or being manipulated by a narrative designed to keep us watching, sharing, and emotionally invested? For example, many of us watched videos claiming to show weird things at the concert, like unusual camera angles or a strange flashing red light on the side of the stage. But let's be honest. Do we know those weren't just part of the regular stage design? Are we seeing things objectively, or through a lens of suspicion planted by the prior narrative? And about the signals Jungkook allegedly gave during the concert, were those really cues to the security team, or just spontaneous movements exaggerated by dramatic content creators? Since when did a finger tap become proof of secret communication? This is why it's essential for us to think critically and skeptically. We live in a world full of rapid information, but sadly, not always accurate. We must ask, Who first spread this news? What is their motive? Did they provide actual evidence? Have other independent and credible sources confirmed the same? If the answer is no, then the news deserves our suspicion. Let's reflect personally. Do you feel more connected to Jungkook because of this news? Or do you feel more distant and afraid? Does a narrative like this strengthen or damage the emotional connection between artist and fan? And more importantly, are we as fans helping to protect the artist by spreading speculative news that may not be true? Or are we unintentionally spreading unfounded fear? Think, if one day it turns out this was all just a marketing strategy, or even an unintentional hoax, would you feel exploited? Are we all just part of an attention machine that uses our love for an artist to generate clicks, views, and engagement? Some may say, but it's okay to be worried. Yes, it absolutely is. But that concern should be paired with awareness of who is triggering that worry and for what purpose. Stories like this, however stirring, must be placed between two poles, possibility and reality, because sometimes it's not facts that deceive us, but narratives wrapped in emotion and flooded with agreeable comments, leaving no room for debate. So we return the question to you, dear readers, ARMY, and lovers of global pop culture. Do you believe that Jungkook's concert in NYC was truly surrounded by serious threats? Or are you starting to suspect that it was shaped by viral media flows that manipulate logic and emotion? If this news turns out to be a hoax, how would you feel? Disappointed or relieved? Will you become more critical when processing information about your favorite idol in the future? In a time when hoaxes are often more appealing than facts, we must have the courage to withhold judgment. We must be able to say, I don't know the truth yet, and I won't spread this until I'm sure. Because it's not just Jungkook who needs protection. The truth needs guarding too. Thank you for watching. Stay critical, love with logic, and keep the space for healthy discussion open. Feel free to share your thoughts. We truly want to know, what do you really think about this concert?